One summer, I don't remember exactly when, I remember playing at my cousin's house, which was in the same subdivision as mine. It was just the four of us, me, my cousin, and her two friends. I was the youngest. The house had 2 floors, so we liked to play hide and seek. Then we'd switch to watching cartoons until we got hungry, and then went downstairs to check if there was food. Well, there was no food available in the house, so we decided to buy Halo Halo, a famous dessert here in the Philippines, outside the subdivision instead. My cousin's house was a bit far away from the store, so we took a lot of time walking there. We bought one each, and then we decided to go home. Then my cousin thought that we should do something stupid. There was this big house with a big blue gate and a doorbell near the store. She said that we should do a ding-dong ditch, and the rest of us thought that it was funny, so we did. The side of the house had a small passage, so I went in there to hide while the 3 older kids did the ding-dong ditching. They rang the doorbell twice, and no one answered. On their 3rd try, a big, fat, bald guy appeared. He was shirtless with glasses and black shorts. He had a big tummy and white skin. Most importantly, he was holding a gun. The man looked like a foreigner, but he shouted,
"Why do you keep pressing it without stopping?"
Then he raised his hand and started firing. My cousin and her friends ran, but I was still there, so shocked I couldn't move. After a few seconds, I realized that I had to run too, or else I was going to very likely die there. I ran and I ran, but the other 3 were already very far away from me. I tried running even faster, even though I was scared and crying, could barely see. I wiped my tears, looked back for a second, and saw that he was pointing his gun at me. He fired. Fortunately, I tripped at that moment, and the bullet missed me. Then I stood up and ran even faster. When I reached the front of my house, I sat down and cried my eyes out. That's when my cousin found me, grabbed my hand, and we started running again. The bald guy still chased us all the way up until about the time we reached my cousin's house. When we arrived, her friends were already there. We locked the doors, closed the curtains, and hid. We saw the bald guy looking for us through gaps in the curtains. When he didn't see us, fortunately, he went away. I don't know if my cousin and the other 2 still remember this, but I still remember it, and I told my mom once. I often think about just how close I came to dying that day. I don't remember much about the incident, but I will try to explain it the best way I can. My name is Christopher. I was in middle school, and if I remember correctly, it was 2022, 2 months before summer break. My middle school had 2 stories and 1 elevator. Even though it was for staff only, some students got permission to use it. Most of my classmates in the school just liked to cause trouble, starting fights, vandalizing the restrooms for social media clout, picking on the other students. I wasn't one of those students. I was caring, kind, still am to this day, but that's not why I'm writing this. The day of the incident, I was sitting in my 2nd period math class. It was one of those average days, just listening to boring math info and solving equations. I didn't care much about it. Suddenly, the intercom speaker came on. I figured it was some kind of administrative announcement, but that's not what it was. The woman from the office using the speaker sounded nervous. She said a teenage boy had entered the building with a gun. I was shocked, terrified to hear that. Looking around, I could see that my classmates felt the same way. The teacher told us to get in the corner while she locked the doors, shut the blinds, and turned off the lights. We were already quiet when she sat down next to us to wait out the lockdown. At this point, I knew it wasn't a drill. A few minutes passed and there was still no noise. However, it wasn't for long. This part had me shivering. I still feel it to this day. The silence was broken by the sounds of gunshots. I couldn't tell how many there were, probably 3 or 4 shots. They sounded far from our classroom, but soon we heard footsteps coming from the hallway. Some of the students started to cry, prayed for the shooter to just go away. The footsteps were getting closer, closer. Whoever was out there, they were almost at our classroom, but the footsteps stopped. For a moment, the other students were silent again. Then we heard, "Where are you?" I was so terrified at this point I thought I might pass out. The others were scared and crying as well, but then something unexpected happened. The shooter ran from the hallway, back to where he came from. Another few minutes passed and we heard the intercoms come on again. The office lady that was on before said the boy ran out of the school because he saw police cars coming. Needless to say, we were all immensely relieved. Later that day, we learned that the shooter was a male high school student. He was apparently very, very upset about something, but I don't remember what. When he came to the school with the gun, he went up to the second floor to the learning commons. He shot 4 times up into the air to get everyone out. The police said that they found and arrested him. He was ultimately sentenced, so we have the solace of knowing that at least he's off the streets. Hi, I'm Paru. I'm Indian, and this story happened to me when I was 14. Now I'm 24. I'm writing this from Kerala, South India. I've told this story to my family and friends, but no one believed me, so I'm sharing it with you. I never believed in paranormal activities and all of that stuff, well, until this happened. After my 8th grade final exams, I decided to go to my aunt's house for a vacation. It was a farmhouse. My uncle is a farmer, raised a ton of goats, cows, chickens, dogs, and cats. My aunt lives in this big house. It had 4 bedrooms. I chose the big old room that belonged to my uncle's father. He'd passed away about 4 years ago. It was one of the best rooms and had an attached room. One night while I was sleeping, I just wanted to go to the bathroom to pee. And there was a bathroom window. When I looked out that window, I saw what looked like a goat's head. I thought I saw something wrong, just ignored it and went back to bed. But I felt anxious, couldn't sleep well. I don't know why. I just looked at that bathroom for no reason. Then there was a shadow. I thought it was just my imagination and I tried to go to sleep. Fortunately, I did. And the next day, when I tried to sleep, I felt even more scared. Then when I went to sleep, I couldn't move because of sleep paralysis. And in that sleep paralysis, I saw a figure. Couldn't tell who it was, but I could tell that its eyes were red. The figure watched me for a few minutes, touched my nose. When it touched it, it hurt so much. I cried, tried to wake up from my sleep paralysis. And when I finally did, the figure disappeared. I don't remember what happened next. When I woke up the next morning, I thought it was a nightmare. Didn't pay much attention to it. When I went to the bathroom, brushed my teeth and looked in the mirror, I freaked out because I saw a wound on my nose. I remembered that figure had touched my nose the night before. When I touched the wound, it hurt so bad, I ran to my aunt. I told her, and she laughed at me, made fun of me. Well, that night I slept in my aunt's room. And the next day I called my mom and she took me home. I told my mom about the incident, and of course she didn't believe me. I told my dad, my brother, my classmates. They all think I'm lying. Well, was it really my imagination? And why do I have this scar on my nose? I really don't know. But what I do know is I'm sure I'm not lying.